Hey everybody, it is Sunday afternoon, and while it is a little on the gray and dreary side, we are going to run out to Graves Run for a little while. The missus is getting ready to have a very important phone call, so I am making myself scarce for a little while, and I thought what better way to do that than to run out to the stream and see if we can catch a little crayfish or maybe some little minnows, little squidgely things. We might find an attractive piece of rotting wood, some pretty rocks. You never know what treasures we might come across while we're out there. Again, I'm just going out to kill some time, and I thought you all might like to come with me. So that's about it. That's the intro to the video. We got about a, I don't know, maybe a 10-minute drive down the road. The leaves are starting to change, even though it's a bit dreary. It is still pretty. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera around, hit the fast forward button, and we'll zoom on out there, and I'll see you guys down by the water. All right, everybody, this is one of my favorite little haunts. I have gotten a lot of little gambusia from out here. In fact, I can already see a ton of little gambusia swimming around right in there. And we got 3 of them on my first swipe. But I'm really not here to catch gambusia. Catching a few of them won't be a bad idea. But really, I would like to find some small crayfish. And I usually don't see crayfish out in this area very often. I'm almost guessing that all these little spots you can see where it's all cleared out might be, well, I don't know. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what they are. Every one of these little cleared away spots is actually dog prints that I am pretty certain of. Not sure how an old newspaper got out here, but we'll take that away with us. So yeah, those are dog footprints. Where I set up my tripod over there, there's fresh digging in the ground where it looked like a dog was digging. There's some activity from a dog up here, and there's actually a tennis ball up there that looks like it just got left behind very, very recently. It's still a bright, colorful tennis ball. So somebody recently was down here with a dog, and that's what all these little spots are. I'm here thinking they're cleared away areas from crayfish or fish spawning, or I didn't know what they were. I got there in the end. I usually do. Takes me a little while sometimes, but I get there. All right, on with the hunt. All I really want is one. This is going to go in the tank that is my experimental tank. I just put the zebra loaches in there, those little golden zebra loaches. And I gave some thought to whether or not the crayfish would bother the zebra loaches, or more likely with the zebra loaches might bother the crayfish. And I don't think it's going to be an issue. I don't think either one's going to bother the other one. And so it shouldn't be a problem. Again, just finding a crayfish to catch is going to be the hard part. I really should have just gone right down the street and stopped by my little local stream. I can catch crayfish there pretty quickly and pretty easily. In fact, we could have walked across the street and gone to my neighbor's house and caught some there. In fact, this video might end up in my neighbor's driveway catching some crayfish, because I don't see hide nor hair of anything so far. Can hear some geese way down there. All right, well, this direction gives me too much glare on the water, even with my fancy polarized glasses. So let's come around this way. There's a nice little fish right out there. I'm not sure what that was, but I would have liked to have had it in my tanks, because it looked like a baby bass or something. And if you can see all the little ripples and disturbances on the water, that's all gambusia. It's all little mosquito fish that have swum up into these little shallow areas. So we could catch a ton of little tiny mosquito fish in there, but again, that's not what I'm here for. And we already got 3 of them that I don't need. 4 of them that I don't need. Well, let's see where it was, but I don't see anything that resembles a crayfish yet. Alright, a lot of time you can find them in leaf litter. But we don't get a lot of leaf litter around here, just because it's a fairly fast moving stream. And whenever there's even a little bit of rain, it comes through here really forcefully and washes everything away. Maybe it's just getting late in the season. Water temperatures are starting to drop a little bit. I still think it's a bit early for that. But I do not see hide nor hair of crayfish, which makes sense because they don't have hide nor hair. But as the expression goes, you get the idea. I keep seeing rocks with small cavities underneath of them. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a crayfish. You gotta be careful right there. You take one step too far and you're out in waist deep water. All right. see if we can't stir something up. The problem with this is it immediately becomes all murky and stirring the silt up. It doesn't take much. If you can disturb them and scare them a little bit, you'll see them move. Well, I can't believe I'm not seeing anything. That is definitely one of the things you've got to watch out for when you're scraping up gravel and stuff. We'll go ahead and take this out of here with us too. Wonder if there's any more pieces of that lying around. I don't see any, or do I? I think that's a leaf. Yeah, it's just a leaf with a white edge on it. Alright, well, at least we got a few fish, and I did some good deeds for the day. There's a little bit of leaf litter up here. Let's see if we can't stir something up. And the problem with this is it immediately becomes all murky and stirring the silt up. But it doesn't take much. If you can disturb them and scare them a little bit, you'll see them move. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Well, all right, everybody. I think we're going to call that good. See if I can get around this side. The angle I can actually see it. All right, that looked like a good spot with lots of little nooks and crannies, but nothing. All right. Well, we got 4 mosquito fish, and we're gonna take some trash out of here, so I guess there's that. All right, everybody, I will see you all back at the tank. We'll have a look at me putting them in there, and we'll wrap the video up and say goodbye with that. All right, everybody, there's the 4 fish that we caught, and before we actually put them in the tank, we're just going to compare the water that they're in, that we brought home from the stream, to the water that they're going to be in. Now, I already just took a couple of little dip tests here. We've had time to let them mature, and it's going to be kind of hard to do this and show you at the same time. So with the nitrate, we're down, you know, to 40, somewhere between the 20 and 40. They both seem comparable. The next one on the list is nitrite. They both have none of that. Then we are down to chlorine. There's none of that. General hardness. It's going to be the green and the yellow. Those are fairly different. So we've got a fairly different hardness level, and then we've got, if it'll ever focus there, a much more significant pH difference. I know it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but the one to the left, or the one on the bottom there, is very orange compared to the red on the other one. So what we're looking at is probably a pH of around Don't know why this won't focus. There we go. Probably a pH below 6.8 in the tank. And then what we just brought them home from is probably above 7.8. So that is going to be a significant shift in pH. And yet, for as many times as I've done this, I've never had any issues with the fish undergoing any kind of shock or anything like that. So we're not going to worry about, acclimating them or anything like that. I'm just going to scoop them out of here with a net, and we are going to go ahead and get them in the tank, and we'll see what happens. We are also going from water that's about, 60 degrees to water that's about 75 degrees. So they're going to go through a hardness shock, they're going to go through a pH shock, and they're going to go through a temperature shock. And I'm guessing that they're going to be just fine. So hang on a minute, let me get them netted up, and we'll go ahead and drop them in the tank. All right, everybody, there they are. I'm going to go ahead and just lower them in. Let them out. And it seems to me, I looked away for a moment, now I don't know which ones are which, but it seems like the four that are sort of grouped together and are a little more pale are the ones that just went in there. So this tank went from being very, very lightly stocked with a few gambusia. Got some zebra loaches, some golden zebra loaches added to the collection in there. You can see 4 of those. I also put a nearite snail in this tank, which at the moment is way up here in the corner. And we now have 4 more of the gambusia. And I would not be surprised at all to see them in there start to breed. Now, gambusia are closely related to guppies, and they are indeed live bearers. So I would guess that hard water, or at least harder water, would probably be good for them. And as we just saw, the water they came from was surprisingly hard. Normally when I check the water around here, it's very soft. It's very similar to the water hardness that I have coming out of the ground. It's very soft. So we've had a lot of rain lately, and you would think all of the extra rain would make it extra soft. I'm getting really distracted by watching this loach freaking out like this. That's just, loaches do stuff like that sometimes, so I'm not really worried about it. It's just weird looking, and it's very distracting. So anyway, I was expecting to find very soft water and slightly acidic when I did that test. The fact that we got hard water with a pH in the upper 7s, maybe even up into the 8s, was interesting. So I may add some poultry grit or some sort of hardening agent. I may add a little bit of calcium and magnesium. I do have a little bit of CalMag solution I can put in there just to add a little bit of mineralization without actually affecting the pH. And of course I can always just put some simple aquarium salt in there, which won't affect the pH or the hardness, but will ease the stress on the fish. And I can talk more in an upcoming video about why salt eases the stress on fish. If anybody's interested in that topic, let me know, and we can go ahead and do a video about why putting a little bit of salt in your aquarium is usually a good idea. It helps ease the stress on any fish, especially if they're ill or if they're not in the best of water conditions or whatever. A little bit of salt goes a long way as to helping them out. And I can tell you why if you're interested in that. So let me know, and we'll talk about that. In the meantime, I'm going to say thanks for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed your little outing with me today. Make sure you're subscribed. I do offer memberships now. I do always appreciate the super thanks. I've got super stickers available. There's merchandise available, all kinds of good stuff going on. And I will be having some channel announcements coming up in the very near future too. So make sure you're subscribed. You won't miss any of that. Check out my other channel. Check out my Amazon store that I now have. Check out my merch store that I now have. And I will see you real soon in the next one.